Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, tips to improve cash flow. We help a catering business bring in the dollars. How designer Viktoria Novak took crowns from royals to the masses, and practical tips for success from jeweller Samantha Wills. Hello and welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. We hope you've had a fantastic week. Look, the weather's getting warmer. Christmas decorations are already on sale. Can you believe it? And it just feels like there's a bit of a buzz in the air. Look, I recently read a report from NAB that said 1 in 3 Australians would love to own their own business, with young Aussies being the most aspirational. Now, I absolutely love the small business community, as you know, even more than I love Dame Julie Andrews, maybe. So this is just music to my ears. Fostering this spirit in the next generation of entrepreneurs is so important for our economy, our culture, and our innovation. And KBB is all about creating a small business community to help nurture that. Today, our cash flow commando, Anthony Igra, chats to Caitre-d about establishing a consistent source of income. Look, it's a must-watch for any small business who has problems with cash flow. Then, for all the aspiring fashionistas out there, crown designer Viktoria Novak shares her beautiful business story and plenty of tips with footage of what I've been told is #fashion goals. Plus, I answer a burning viewer question and jeweller Samantha Wills gives her top tips for starting a successful business. Plenty ahead of us, so let's get cracking. Caitre-d was started by dietitian Liz Kalin, who was tired of eating sad sandwiches at corporate events. After many wasted calories, Liz decided to take matters into her own hands and start an online marketplace, allowing users to order catering for workplaces from a curated list of local food vendors.
How's the road been to get to this point? Were there some false starts or bumpy?
Oh, that's really an understatement.
Okay.
It's been, really, really challenging. No business experience. I've been through 3 co-founders, but I'm persistent, so I'm still here.
Okay, so you're at 10,000 feet. You've got through a bit of turbulence.
Yeah, I like to say it's base camp, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I've reached base camp.
Yeah, it's always the rockiest rise in any new enterprise.
Food-related startups are booming at the moment and everybody eats. So it's no surprise that food is one of the largest global industries with a valuation in the trillions.
We're really not sure how people are finding us. I think the best opportunity that we have to convert a customer is when they actually have a need, but finding out when that is really, really challenging.
It's been a long journey that Liz has described as climbing Mount Everest, and she's not quite out of the woods yet, especially when it comes to cash flow.
So I'm assuming then in that particular environment, your issue is last month you'll have a whole pile of orders, this month smaller orders, and you've still got the same fixed cost.
Correct.
You're still trying to pay
That's
out,
right.
etc. And those would be your Caitre-ds, your staff that manage those events. They're full-time staff.
I have 2 full-time staff.
Full-time, and then you can bring other people in if there's
Correct.
a bigger.
That's exactly right.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds to me though that one of the keys to unlock here is then to take the volatility out of what is currently volatile.
Yeah.
And I say with some sense of irony, you've got a feast and famine problem.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. So your challenge really is to kind of even out demand. I mean, raise it, but have less troughs.
Yes, that's right.
That would be one of the problems to solve. Had you given any thought to, it'll sound odd for this kind of business, but a subscription type model?
Yes.
Do you think it might be something you could do not as a first sale, but as an upsell to clients that already know you? You could go to current clients and say you had a good experience. If you pay us so much money per month, we will cater to all your staff birthdays, sales meetings, board meetings. And even on reflection, you could actually package it, and I'm spitballing here, but you could package it to those typical things that businesses have. A staff member has a birthday, there's a sales meeting, which is usually every month, there's a board meeting 3 times a year. You could come up with packages for all of those things. That might be an upsell, and then you'll have some regular revenue.
That is definitely something that we would consider.
We'll check back in later to get more money-making tips from Anthony. But for now, let's hear some news you can use. Australia is the slowest country in the world at paying invoices. A global study has found that the average payment comes 26.4 days late. In the Netherlands, that number is just 3 days. This is an alarming fact for small business whose livelihood depends on its cash flow and has real impact. Research from Small Business First, a new online community fighting for a better deal for our smaller operators, shows that 60% of business owners see late payments as a risk to their business, with a quarter saying it means a struggle to survive. What's worse is that over a quarter end up paying their suppliers late as a result. The good news, we do have the power to change. The UK has a prompt payment code to which 3/4 of its top listed companies are signed up. And many Australians are calling for an official government inquiry into late payments by big business, with a similar code of conduct to be produced. What can you do? Well, if you think small business deserves to be treated fairly, head to smallbusinessfirst.com.au and sign the petition, asking big business and government leaders to support prompt payment. After the break, we find out how the husband and wife duo at Viktoria Novak stays sane, successful and very, very stylish. So stay tuned. Now, today's hit of inspiration comes from the very elegant crown designer, Viktoria Novak. Together with her husband, Tristan, she tells us about how the duo sacrificed everything to make their dream come true, and it paid off. Viktoria Novak was the first Australian milliner, would you believe, to have a solo runway show at New York Fashion Week. What an achievement that is. But it's not all glitz and glamour. Have a look.
I'm so lucky that I actually found my love and passion. You know, some people go through life and they just know that there's something out there for them, but it might take them years to find. I was so lucky to find it while I was studying. It hit me in the face and I can't wait to get to work. And there are days where I don't even want to go home. I just want to stay here and work, and I want to work all night. So with the crown idea, it was quite interesting. I just thought, what can I do to create basically a new trend and just to be different, something unexpected. And I released it 4 years ago, and it was really well received. All of a sudden, it was a hot in demand product, and then I kept experimenting with materials, shapes, sizes. How can we evolve this crown concept into something that's very wearable for not just racegoers, but to brides as well, and someone going to a party, and it just keeps evolving every day.
When we first released the crown, there were a few people that thought, what is she up to? Like, are you crazy? What is this crown? Like, crowns are just for royals. How can you make the everyday person wear a crown to the races or on their wedding day? And it was a risk we took, and it's a risk that we paid off.
So we are a husband and wife duo. I am a designer and creator of the brand, but without Tristan, there's no Viktoria Novak. We're very much yin and yang.
I'm massive on making sure that all client inquiries are responded to, making sure that we're offering a particular service to our clients that makes them want to come back. It's all about the experience with us.
And basically, it's manic and it's hectic, and we're in each other's faces 24/7. And you know, there is days we want to kill each other. That's just natural with husband and wife duos, and we bounce off each other really well. And you know, there's that level of respect and really understanding what our boundaries are as well.
Make sure you've got your plan ahead. Make sure you know what your goals are. Also, plan for the worst, plan for the good times, the bad times. There's going to be plenty of tears. There's going to be amazing opportunities. There's going to be a lot of happy moments as well. The most important thing that I think has worked for Viktoria and I is having that support of each other.
So we are both actually originally from Canberra, and we sacrificed basically our whole house, everything in it, the furniture. We sold everything to make the big move to Sydney, and it's just been an incredible journey. We look back now and we wouldn't do anything different. So metaphorically, I always think when we made the move to Sydney, I envisioned myself running off the edge of a cliff, and then I had no choice. I had to make it work. I had to do this. And being that stubborn and the love and passion, you just envision yourself falling over the edge and you grow wings and you fly. There is no choice, otherwise you will fall. So if you always have that mentality of, I will jump and my wings will grow, they will grow. I think a turning point for me was when we went over to New York and we did New York Fashion Week. We did make history as well. So I was the first ever Australian milliner to travel over to New York and have my own solo runway show, which was really exciting.
In terms of having a celebrity wear our products, it definitely helps our brand from a social media perspective to endless press and PR. It's priceless. And obviously, fashionistas, they're the ones that are looking up to celebrities, so they're embracing and they're looking at trends. It's purely inspiration.
So my inspiration can come from all sorts of things, but mainly actually old movies. I love the Edwardian era, anything Victorian. I actually truly believe that I'm an old soul myself, and I just have this feeling about the yesteryear. I'm drawn to vintage. You know, old materials that are timeless. And I love nature as well, so florals, leaves, roses, shapes, petals, basically anything that's really pretty. And I just want to create. I just want to create. That's all I want to do. So I'm so blessed. I'm just really lucky. Be prepared to work long hours. You really do need to put your heart and soul into it. If you don't love what you do, again, you'll just want to give up and walk away. It's not always glamorous as well, so you've got to be prepared to put in the hard yards, but the rewards are amazing. So just keep going with it. If you love what you do, you will flourish, you will run off the edge, and you will find those wings and you will fly.
Coming up, we get back to Caitre-d getting some cash flow tips from Anthony Igra, plus some business advice from Samantha Wills. Cash flow is such a common challenge. After all, every business needs it. So don't even think about moving. We'll be right back. Earlier, we heard from Liz Kalin, founder of Caitre-d, an online marketplace for catering companies. The business underpins the catering for about 250 companies in Sydney, using a hand-picked list of 35 food vendors. However, the unpredictable nature of the orders has given way to certain cash flow challenges. Our cash flow expert, Anthony Igra, has so far suggested a subscription model and is about to dish out a couple more gems.
The providers and suppliers that you have, do they have their own restaurants and businesses?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Okay, had you thought of asking them if they'd cross-promote in their restaurants?
Not really.
There's another one.
Really.
I mean, there's 20 to 30,000 people a week tromping through there that could find out about Caitre-d.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Amp up the guerrilla exposure. You've got fantastic connections through people who are already servicing your market. I'd just be using those 30 restaurants right now and just saying, get it out there. What can I leave on the table? What can I do? How do we talk to these people? And you'd probably be pretty amazed at what comes out of it. And then try upsell some packages to your customers that already exist. Some companies in the United States actually found a great way to do that was to actually do market research with their current customers, going, if we were to package our meals ahead of time, what would suit your business? 3 months ahead of time, 6 months, 12 months? What would we like? What should it be packaged around? Sales meetings, birthdays, da-da-da. So now your customers have got buy-in, you develop the product, and guess who's going to be first in line to buy it?
Right. Sure.
I think you've just set yourself up just very nicely to just do this really low-cost expansion before you take over planet Earth.
Sure.
I love Anthony Igra because he always comes up with great advice, which he shared with Caitre-d today. A subscription-based model won't work for every business, but if it suits you, can be a great way to bring in some regular income to offset all that cash flow volatility. Then, it's all about cross-promotion. Just asking current suppliers to promote your business can open up a wealth of new clients. Give it a go. The worst that can happen is that they'll just say no. And I think as small business owners, for every yes, there are 1,000 no's. So We've got to get used to it.
Hi, I'm Samantha from Samantha Wills Accessories. We're an Australian-based accessories brand with offices in New York, LA, Paris and Japan. My top 3 tips for business are: firstly, your people. You're only as good as the team around you. Investing in them is so important for the culture and so important for your business growth. My second tip is if you're looking to export, for us, the US was our focused market. What you can't do is assume that you have a successful Australian brand and replicate that in the US market. When you go over there, you almost have to look at your brand completely again as a startup. The other thing with the US, if you're looking as a financial gain for a market that size, it's not the case. My advice would be to look at the US as how your brand is positioned globally. My third piece of advice, and I think the most powerful, is the ability to anticipate. This is something that comes with your career as you progress through, but the ability to be able to anticipate people and people issues, market trends, and financial happenings is incredibly powerful. I hope that helps. Good luck.
Coming up after the break, I answer one of your tricky business questions, and we get another handy tech tip from the never-aging Val Quinn. We'll be back before you know it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you learned something and felt really inspired. I love how Viktoria Novak said that if you take a leap of faith, you will survive because your wings will grow to let you fly. A beautiful message of small business perseverance. But that's not all, folks. Still to come, I answer a viewer video question. I have to say, I love putting the faces of small business owners up on national telly. But first up, a quick tech tip from Val Quinn.
40% of small businesses struggle with award compliance when it comes to rostering their employees. Roster Coster is a free app that allows retailers to not only more efficiently manage their rosters, but to better understand how the General Retail Industry Award of 2010 and Fast Food Industry Award 2010 applies to their staff. Etivity Express is an entry-level workforce management solution designed for small to medium-sized businesses. It's easy to use, available as a software as a service, and specializes in rostering, time and attendance, and work rule interpretation, providing you with a cost-effective solution to optimize your workforce, reduce labor costs, and most of all, improve payroll efficiency.
Hello and thanks for watching. Time to answer your questions with Ask Kochie, where I answer one of your burning business problems. Let's check out today's question from Andrew Hill.
Hi Kochie, Andrew Hill, tennis professional, and I'm working on a brand called Sportstar and Stars TV, and I'm trying to work out, should I franchise or should I license? Over to your panel. Thanks.
Andrew, thanks for that. I might get you into work on my backhand, but anyhow, let's look at your business. Let me tell you, there's a lot of confusion between franchising and licensing. Franchising is regulated by the ACCC under the Franchising Code of Conduct. Now, this Code of Conduct uses 4 criteria to decide whether a business is a franchise: a system or marketing plan the franchisor creates and controls, the existence of a brand image or trademark, an agreement between the parties which sets out expectations, and the payment of a fee by the franchisee to the franchisor. Now, franchising is a good option for growing your business, but first you need to prove the business model is replicable and profitable for both you and franchisees. A franchisor needs to have absolute control over the brand and the system, must be able to operate multiple chains, and provide ongoing training and support. It's also worth considering your timelines. The Franchise Council of Australia says it can take up to 3 years to establish a franchise system and another 3 to 5 before you see a profit. A licence, on the other hand, grants someone, called the licensee, access to a developed business system without being tied to the system. Licensing is not regulated by a code of conduct like franchising is, although just like all businesses, it must adhere to the Consumer and Competition Act. There are no ongoing royalties or payments and minimal commitments to obligations and KPIs. A licence is also usually cheaper than a franchise and there's a lot less legal work. Now, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, ACCC.gov.au, has information on how to know if you're a franchise or licence. So that's a good place to start. They also have useful information about agreements, a franchisor compliance manual, and also free franchise training. And take a look at the Franchise Council of Australia, franchise.org.au. It's the peak body for the franchising sector here, and you'll find plenty of handy information and events on their website. Don't forget, you'll also need professional advice from a solicitor, accountant, and also a banker. Hope this helps, Andrew. And for more business resources, tips and information delivered straight to your inbox, don't forget to join our daily newsletter at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au. Coming up on next week's show, find out how a candle business is reigniting its digital presence. Catch up with the grounds of Alexandria and their empire, and get some business lessons from yet another legend.